Hey, this is Phil Lilley, Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on Lake Taneycomo. We're going to do one cast today. A lot of pressure on this one cast today. I leave town and the guys catch two in a row. And before Dwayne left today, he wanted to make sure I knew that I was to catch a fish today on one cast. So they ran 2 units this afternoon, 1/2 to 1 unit this morning, 2 units this afternoon. They just kicked it down to 1/2. It's about 7:30. This is Wednesday the 16th. And I guess fishing was pretty good today. Dwayne had a trip this morning and they caught a lot of fish on the pink worm. So I'm going to be trying not the pink worm. I've got a 1/125th brown jig with an orange head on, and then I've got a number 14 gray, brownish gray scud about 18 inches below the jig, and the jig is about 5 foot deep. I've got 6X tippet on, which is basically 2 pounds. And we're going to be fishing the bank here, same place they were catching their fish. So I did come up here a minute ago when the water was running 2 units. I drifted down through here and caught one on the jig. But why I added the scud is the fish that I caught was fatter than fat. And I looked in his mouth, down his throat, kinda, and I could see scuds popping up. So they're eating scuds, probably coming out of that pipe right there. Okay. I'm now officially out on my one cast. As they suck gravel out of the dredge up here, they suck it up into that container like Dwayne said last night. And then it comes out that tube, the water does. They get water and gravel up in there, and then the water comes back out. So anything that was in that gravel comes out with the water out of that tube, and it looks kind of cruddy. It's off color. But I caught that fish way down by the dock, and it was full of scuds. So that's kind of assuming that those fish are along here feeding on scuds. So I added the scud, just for the heck of it. It might mess up my, maybe it won't. I was gonna say it might mess up my jig action. And that fish is on the scud. Got the net. Even on a little fish. Oh. Don't want to lose him. Three in a row. We need, I think I calculated 3 more to catch up. I guess maybe you guys saw the big brown that Dwayne caught today. Pretty. He's little. He's really pretty. He's got a big old belly. He's eating. See if he's got anything in his gullet. No, I didn't see anything. Cool. Evidently, he was on the dock waiting. This is the whole story. He was on the dock this morning waiting on his clients to come for his guide trip, and he was rigging a rod. And he said that he heard a big splash out in the water, out in the lake, just off the dock. And we have otters that come up and eat guts around the dock. Sometimes they come up around the dock, splash, so he thought it was an otter. Didn't pay a lot of attention. heard again, and he looked up as he heard. He looked up and he saw that it was a fish, and it was chasing. And so he jumped up. I assume he had a rod that had a white jig on it, since we've been fishing a lot of white jigs. And when he got out there, he saw that it was a pretty good sized fish, and it was chasing minnows. He could see minnows jumping on the surface. A little unusual, although we've had a lot of minnows behind the dock here lately. Stands to reason those fish might have been moved out in front of the dock, and this fish was busting on them. So he threw the jig in, and he said he gave it a couple of twitches, and the fish hit it. Big brown, real big brown. He said it didn't fight super hard. It made a couple of lunges, and he, of course, was in his boat, had the net right there, and was able to net it fairly quick for that size of fish. He ran over and put it in the minnow tank. They got one quick picture of it this morning, but he wanted to leave it in the live tank just to make sure would be good to go to be released. We got back from Kansas City about 1:30 or so, and we got the fish out and took some pictures, got some measurements. It had, I don't want to say a deformed tail, but it's pretty close. It's short and stubby. The fish could have easily been 3 more inches long. Big, fat girth. It was a female. We've had a fish under the dock here for quite a while, off and on for months. And this brown, we've got it on video and taken pictures of it. And we at first thought it might have been that fish. And it was not. It was quite a bit smaller. But his fish weighed 17 3/4 pounds, 28 3/4 inches long, and a 22-inch girth. The adipose fin was clipped, so it is a triploid. And that basically means the fish is sterile. It was rendered sterile when it was hatched by Missouri Department of Conservation folk, that they heat the eggs right after being sterilized. Sterilized? No. Fertilized. Jeez. And that makes them sterile. The idea is they grow faster. The fish doesn't go through the spawning process. And during the spawning season, fish usually don't eat. They actually lose weight because they are there to spawn. And that's, happens for a month or two every year. And instead of going through the spawning process, these fish just keep eating and growing all year. So there's a small percentage of browns in this lake that are what they call triploids. And MDC clips those browns, their back top fin. They clip it, signifying that they are triploids. I'm surprised I haven't gotten another bite. I'm almost to the dock. I got a feeling I usually do real good on that jig, and when you tie line onto that jig, it really kind of changes the action of the jig, kind of suppresses it. But he sure ate that scud. It's a nice flow. Well, I'm glad I had the scud. 3 in a row. Thanks for watching OneCast. We'll see you tomorrow.